What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's episode. Today we're gonna be going through my top tips to help you improve your arm development. So make sure you follow along, like, subscribe, share with your friends. So first things first, get out of the mid-range. This is the mid-range. Every chest, back, and shoulder movement you do is a mid-range arm movement. You may not be trying to target your arms there, but you're never getting to the fully shortened or fully lengthened position for your biceps or your triceps. You need some kind of bicep movement that's gonna get you here, some kind of tricep movement that's gonna get you here, some kind of bicep movement here, and some kind of tricep movement here. Instead of everything going here, like your dumbbell curls, your barbell curls. If you're always spending time in the mid-range, you are just doing redundant patterns over and over and over, hoping that it's gonna do something for you. So the first movement that I'm doing today for biceps is a braced high cable curl. So what you'll see is I have one of these really long prime benches set at the same angle as the cable. So when I get down to the bottom, it's gonna match up. So the cable and the bench should be about the same, so that my arm is about at the same angle. Then I'm gonna sit sideways on the bench, just like so. My upper arm is gonna go on the bench, and I'm pushing my tricep into the bench, not my elbow. So I'm not here, I'm flat and on the bench here. And then all I'm doing is driving my hand behind my head. You should notice a pretty nasty squeeze at the top, since this is the fully shortened position of your bicep. The other thing I see that can help improve people's connection to their biceps, like whatever curl pattern you're doing, don't think about just up. Move with the curl, with that range of motion. So here, with my elbow being pressed into the pad, I'm thinking about my arm arcing, just going that way. Pushing my hand away from my elbow, not just yanking it to my head. So this allows me to squeeze and feel that connection to my bicep 10 times more. Guarantee that connection is going to improve tenfold. The other thing that most people don't do is train their biceps here with a hammer grip position. What does that do for us for increasing arm size? It works that muscle that lays underneath your bicep brachii and that runs into your forearm. That smaller muscle underneath the bigger muscle, if you grow it, it will push that arm out more. So it will give it more of a peak at the top. And then when you're really lean, it'll also show here on the side. You'll see that piece of the arm show. My preference for this is a braced version of a hammer curl. So my hand is going to be neutral, so my palm will be facing towards me. And then I'm just curling up. Using the same tip that I said on the last movement, that I am arcing with the curl. So I'm pushing my hand that way. I'm trying to push my hand away from my elbow. So I'm not just yanking up, I am arcing through with it. And I can feel that, all of this in here activating, and that's gonna help push my bicep out more with time as that muscle grows. The other big thing that is extremely helpful when it comes to building arms is not focusing on weight. So don't focus on how much can I curl or how much can I tricep extend. Focus on how many reps you can do. Push into rep ranges, 12, 15, 20, 25. Use high reps, use more sets. That is what's going to be a much bigger stimulus to your arms to grow than it is trying to see how much can I curl, how much weight can I throw up here. It's an isolation movement, it's not a compound. We're not trying to see how much load we can move on a bicep flexion or tricep or elbow extension movement. This doesn't make any sense. Use your compounds like your chest press, shoulder press, your rows, your pull downs. Use those as your compound work for arms. You can set up something like a close grip bench as a compound for triceps. But if you're just doing curls and extensions, don't worry about pushing as much weight as you possibly can. Focus on great connection, great pump, and volume. Volume will be your friend here.
for the cold? Put my chain to a rise. Are you ready for a heartbeat?
Like I said at the start of the video, we need to make sure that we're not just hanging out in the mid-range. So I want to try and get a fully shortened tricep, which is going to be slightly behind my body. When I do an extension, if I set this up and all I do is this here, I've already worked this. I've already done this when I chest press, when I shoulder press, whenever I do any movements like that. So what I want to do is set myself up to where my arm is behind my torso. So as I press, my arm is slightly behind my torso. So now this is fully shortened. As I come to the top, I'm gonna keep my hand close to my torso and push my elbow back. So my elbow goes back, get a really gnarly stretch, press and extend. A big thing that people really miss out on that is crucial and super important to continue to make progress is making sure that we get a stretch. Between this movement and the next one we go to, I'm gonna really be focusing on how much I can get my elbow to bend so that that stretch gets placed on my tricep. Don't just do these short choppy things here. You can get far with that, but you're only gonna get so far. Once you get to a certain level, you have to start trying to push the envelope as far as what your range of motion looks like, what your contraction looks like, and be more specific with how you are programming. Next tip, keep your shoulder down. What you'll see a lot of times is people will start doing their extensions, and when they get to the top, their shoulder starts to raise up here because they can't control it with just the extension. They start to try and use other muscle groups to just move weight. We're not here to move weight, we're here to build muscle. So I want my tricep to take the brunt of what it is I'm trying to do. So you'll see when I get set, I'm pushing my shoulder down and then it stays. It may move a little bit, but I'm not letting it come into elevation so that I can just power more weight around. Last movement, let's get it. So a movement to get like some compound work that I really enjoy right now is a JM press. First saw this from Joe Bennett, hypertrophy coach, and he usually uses a Smith machine. I just don't like our Smith machines here. So this thing works out really well. The reason I like it, I can set it up really low. My hand is about as close to my shoulder as I can possibly get. So my tricep is about as stretched as it can possibly get. So from here, all I'm gonna do is extend straight out. So this is a lot like a skull crusher without the potential pain at my elbow. Here, just pressing straight out. Stretching a muscle is going to give us a ton of benefit and a ton of muscle growth.
You can find a paradise within your heart. You can find what I despise within your mind. All the dangers have been made up.
My last tip for building big arms, find some kind of compound that you can use for your triceps. Most of the compound movements for biceps is like some kind of heavy curl. So I did those already, but some kind of pressing movement for triceps tends to work really well on putting just meat on the back of your arm, whether that's a close grip bench. If you can handle the position on a skull crusher, do a skull crusher or something like a JM press here. This is an opportunity for me to move a decent amount of weight and use a heavy movement that allows me to just overload the tricep with a lot of weight. If all I do is stick to curls and extensions the whole time, it'll still work. I can still get a great arm work out of it, but this option allows me the opportunity to use a weight that I wouldn't be able to if I was doing like tricep press downs. That's all the tips I got for you guys today on how to build some big juicy arms. Give them a shot. Let me know what you think of them. Tag me in your posts on social media. Let me know how it's helped you improve your biceps or your triceps. I appreciate you guys as always. Like I said in the beginning of the video, make sure you like, subscribe, share with your friends, And as always, I truly appreciate the support and all the messages I get about these things. We'll see you next time.